All right, another crazy day. We can't get a day off lately. I'm sorry for not responding to your email questions about the sale. I'm really just swamped with trades right now. I'm making, I don't even know what, half a dozen trades every day. Usually I make like one or two, but there's so many plays. So for the time being, if you go to timsykesale.com, this is the URL, timsykesale.com. You can still save 30, 40, 50, 60% off newsletters and DVDs until I get a chance to answer all of these crazy questions. I really am sorry, but there's only so much time that I have in the day. I'm absolutely exhausted right now after a long day of trading, a good day of trading, but frankly, I don't want to answer your email questions right now. I got to make a video lesson, but be prepared. All of these spikes, people ask, how did you spot ULTR? I mean, I was buying this since last week. I was buying it in here in the 20 cent a share range, and it went up to nearly $1 today. GLBS I nailed. I was buying it in here in the 45s, and the next day it goes to $2. I didn't hold. I sell too soon. ULTR I actually bought today in the 30s, correctly nailing it when they had the press release, how they're working with their lenders, very similar press release as PRGN and GBLS. So same kind of spike. And I sold way too soon, and the thing, nearly doubled. I think it actually did double from where I even sold it. And I had a solid win. Where was my trade? Overall in the day, I made nearly $4 grand, which is pretty sweet. ULTR was by far my best. And I nailed it. I said, got a positive financing news this morning, similar to GLBS and PRGN. Not sure if it can run since the sector is cooling. And GLBS and PRGN were both down about 40% today. So that's why I was so cautious. A lot of people are asking me, Tim, it's the same pattern, it's the same setup. Why are you only taking these 20, 25% wins when you see these things can spike 100%? I wasn't sure how much it could spike. And I sold it at, pretty much near my goal. My goal was to sell it at 40 cents. I got a little better than my goal. By the time I could even get my alert out, it was already still, my sell alert out, it was still spiking to 47 cents. And sure enough, it went, all the way up to 80 cents. So you had plenty of time to get in it. And I know many of you guys who are like, what do you mean plenty of time? This looks all really quick. Well, the press release was at 9 in the morning, okay? It was very early, and you had roughly an hour or 45 minutes from the time the news came out to the top of the spike, and you could have nearly tripled your money. This is why also, in addition to the DVDs being on sale, we have Stocks to Trade. Ba-ba-da-ba! Stocks to Trade is 35% off on the annual subscription. This will go on basically until Mother's Day. I think that's what I said in last night's video. I'm going to stick to that. May 8th. So you have 6 days to lock in, 35% off. Stocks to Trade had the news. This is what all the people are saying about Stocks to Trade. They're loving it. But the key is being prepared. So whether you're in the chat room, the whole chat room is talking about it. If you're using Stocks to Trade, you can search for specific scans. Even if you don't see the news right away, you can have Stocks to Trade open, and it pops up on a percent gainer. A lot of these softwares out there and websites, they don't care about low price stocks. So some people are like, I'm looking at the big percent gainers and I don't see ULTR. Well, that's because whatever website or software you're using sucks. They don't care about low price stocks. No one in the history of mankind before me has ever really cared to cater to low price stock traders. And that's what makes Stocks to Trade so special. It's got over 40 of my pre-programmed scans in it. And this would have been easy to spot. I mean, I saw the press release. It was also in the chat room. But if you didn't see either, you would see it on Stocks to Trade as an early percent gainer with volume right near the market open. And this is the beauty. Even now, it's at 51 cents. It closed at. I was selling. I couldn't have sold at any time during the day. Well, I guess right here. No, this was still higher than my sell price. I sold it way, 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 way too soon. But it's because their competitors, PRGN, was doing this. It eventually dropped 45%. Congrats to those of you who found shares to short. I could not. And GLBS was also down 41% on the day. But these had the spikes too. And if anybody is asking me, and trust me, there's too many of you who are asking me, why do these stocks spike like this? It's, shipping. Their business is not being revolutionized anytime soon. It shouldn't go up. Well, it's hot sympathy plays, and this is what happens. And it can go supernova. So PRGN was the leader of the pack, and there was money to be made on the way up. I actually did not even trade this one, but there was money to be made, 10 times your money in 2 days here. I know a lot of students who did, and now it's dropped 60% off its high, so there's money on the short side. This will continue crashing. GLBS, 35 cents to $1.80, so what is that, 5 times your money? And now it's dropped roughly 50%. And now ULTR is the third. So I nailed 2 out of 3, ULTR and GLBS, and I sold both of them too soon, but I had 25% wins on each of them. So for me, that's pretty good. But if you are curious to learn more about this pattern, I cannot encourage you enough to watch this DVD. It is called My How to Make Millions DVD. I know it's a corny title. It all goes to charity. This is a true statement. All profits from this DVD will be donated to charity. I do not make one dime off of this. And it's 35 hours long and only $2.97 for a little while longer. We've raised now $1.2 million for charity. So I'm glad that you guys are liking it and using it, but too many of you just have no idea about these patterns. And there's a whole chapter, multiple chapters on this very specific pattern when a sector catches fire. Let me talk also about one of the other trades that I had today that I'm getting a lot of questions about. EHTH was a great overnight trade. I made a few $100. This is a classic earnings winner, and it just keeps going up on day 2. MITK, I bought it the other day in the 670s, and now it's at over 8, so I sold that one too soon. Beat was another, this was day 1 of the earnings spike, and it faded. I considered going long in here, but I didn't because it was too high priced. Guess what? Day 2 spiked another $1. So earnings winners I like buying for day 2 spikes. This is also in my How to Make Millions DVD. But I want to talk about this one, PTX. Let me actually first give props to some students. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Michael nailed ULTR, doubled his money, and he says video lessons are starting to pay off. Yeah, no shit, Michael. Good job. I'm proud of you. Did better than me. Austin was in ULTR at 41, out at 71 cents, and he says I'm the bomb. Well, thank you, Austin. I'm proud of you, and I'm glad that you're learning, and your dog looks cute. Ross made $645 on ULTR, and he posted the trade here on Profitly. He was in at 34, out at 67, making 92%. So it's not just me. My students, you won't see me winning 92% on a stock. I usually take 20, 30%. I trade scared. My students are doing better. And this is what I love. This is why I love teaching. So props to you, Ross. Rick made 25% on ULTR, in at 40, out at 50. That's pretty sweet. Good job, Rick. Michael was in at 33, out at 52.3, highest percent gain. And Scared Trader was in on this PTX, which I'm going to talk about in a second, and he made $100 after studying for 3 months with just paper trading. So really proud of you guys for studying. And I want to show the rest of you, you're not just going to get all of this on day 1 or day 2 or day 3. You're going to have to study. These patterns are scary. These stocks are scary, but it is possible. And I bring up these students to show you that, because a lot of people think that it's just me. Like, oh, Tim just makes money and all the subscribers lose. Actually, a lot of my subscribers and students do better than me. I teach the safe way, the cowardly way. And that's fine, because that's how I like trading. It's very, stress-free. But there are many ways to play these stocks. And here is APRDV, first day trading after 4 months of studying. And he says, Tim, your teachings are real. And again, I would say to you, APR, surprise! Some people actually think like I'm making this stuff up. And that's why I make these, video lessons daily, to show you students who are getting it and learning the patterns. And I don't know what APR DV traded, but I like that he made 300 bucks and it's his first day trading after 4 months. Beware, not every single day will be like this, okay? This is a crazy market and it's cool, but just don't get, thinking that this will happen all the time. Oh, I probably shouldn't have closed that. Oh well. Let me talk about something else for a second. PTX. So I made 500 roughly in the morning, and then PTX I traded again and I made 500. So overall, roughly $1,000 on PTX. And let me tell you what I did right and what I did wrong, because the other ones, okay, you have supernovas, anything in the shipping industry is spiking, that's cool. PTX is a little different. So this actually spiked Friday. I didn't see it. This was my bad for not seeing it spike Friday after hours. Sometimes it's good to be there on a Friday after hours because you'll find billionaire plays and billionaire hedge funds that invest in companies and they put out their SEC filings. Friday night, it got up to like 110, 115. Let me zoom in more. The high was 120. So it was hanging around 112 to 120 when the news kind of got, priced in. This morning, it got all the way up to 150 because the guy who invested in this company, Steve Cohen, is one of the best traders in the history of mankind. So it says a lot that he would invest in a piece of crap company like this that, has this ugly chart. So maybe it's not totally dead after all. But it came down here, and then it kind of went sideways in here. And remember, this is why I bought pre-market. Normally, I don't like buying pre-market. I like waiting for the market open to see if it can really spike, but I had a feeling that this would either spike really fast at the market open or, just get stuffed. As it turned out, it spiked a little and then got stuffed. So the best way to play this was at this support area. So when it came down to 111-ish, 112-ish, the same exact level that it used as support on Friday after hours. So I have clear support. I didn't buy it at 110, 112. I was buying it, in the 120s because I don't care if I'm buying it at 115, 120, 125. I'm buying a stock not to try and make 5 cents a share or 10 cents a share, but to see if it can go truly supernova. Can it get back to 150? That was the whole question. And the answer was no. But I did bought it in here, and it was uptrending nicely. And right at the market open, it did get up to the 130s. It was kind of stuck here at 125, 130-ish. I was up like 2 cents a share, and I was like, should I wait? I mean, it might go at the market open. So I waited until the market open, and it got up to the 130s, and I was like, all right, it's not going truly supernova, and you got to be quick. It was all within 1 minute. Before I can even get the alert out, again, I'm sorry, you should never follow alerts. Alerts are always going to be late with the price action because these stocks move fast. They're either going to go supernova or sometimes, they have a delayed morning spike, but most of the time I'm aiming for a morning spike right at 9:30, 9:31, 9:32 if I'm buying the night before or pre-market. Sometimes I buy like at 9:33, 9:35, like ULTR. I gave it a few minutes to see how it would handle the news, and then it started spiking. That's when I piggybacked it. But with this one, I wanted to buy near support because now I'm using support at 112. So at worst, I'm going to lose 10 cents a share. And at best, if this does go supernova and it comes back to 150, maybe it can break 150 and go to 170, and then I make 50 cents a share. So if I can make 50 cents a share, best case scenario, and lose 10 cents a share, worst case scenario, that's a 5-to-1 risk reward. That's good. As it turned out, for my buy at 125, there was like, 15 cents of upside if I timed it perfectly. And, support was here at 112. So 15 cents of upside as it turned out and 13 cents of downside. So it didn't play out the way I wanted. So I got out immediately. That's what happens. You got to be quick. You got to adapt. This is why I spend so much time on these video lessons and DVDs and webinars for my challenge students. I want you to be prepared ahead of time. So PTX, it was dead for me. But then, I'm not buying it here. I'm not buying it here. It's choppy. I don't care. It's billionaire news. But if you're going to look to dip buy a play with, a catalyst like billionaire news or earnings news, where is there support? Well, you're looking back at former levels. So the top here was 147. it's kind of not a coincidence that today it got up. What was the high? It got up for 1 minute to like 147 and then faded. But it's not a coincidence that it used the former high right here from March as its resistance level. So now we see, okay, this stock follows technical analysis. That's cool. Where's the bottom going to be? Well, where was the bottom? Right in here. Oh, it's like 90 cents a share. That's right where this green candle started on March 22nd. So I'm going to use the bottom here, roughly 90 cents a share. So I'm not interested in buying it in here at 103 or at 98 or even here at $1. I am interested though in buying this panic because people think it's just going to fall out of bed from 104 and it comes down to what? You guessed it, 90 cents a share. So I didn't catch the exact bottom here at 90. I actually got it at 92. But the reason why I dip buy stocks, not because of this price action. This price action is bad. I bought it because it was at multi-month support and because it had a good catalyst, which if you look at billionaire plays in the past, they don't always hold up on day one. Oftentimes they spike on day 2 or day 3. So knowing that you're probably going to have some buying momentum overnight because, the press will cover it, people will pick up on it. People aren't very fast. The penny stock market is not very efficient. So it's good to dip buy into absolute panic if it's at support. Now, I'm not saying just buy into any absolute panic, right? If it just is just a falling knife, I mean, your hands get bloody trying to catch falling knives. But it bounced off support. So now I have 3 things going for me. I'm buying into panic, which is a good thing when you're, dip buying. It's not like it's going red on the day. It's still up, 25% on the day. Maybe it just got a little ahead of itself. I'm buying into panic. I'm buying after it held support. And I know that there's a catalyst overnight with the news that will likely spike it even more. And I specifically said in my latest PTX trade, which was probably my best trade of the day in terms of planning and execution, even though it was the smallest opportunity, I said all I wanted to do is to, get back into the ones, whether I sell later today or tomorrow. And it hit 101, 102, and I was done. There's no need to hold overnight if all your goals are hit. So I made another few hundred on this dip buy. And I really tried to have patience because, I'm buying into panic and I have all the indicators going for me. So that is my PTX trade. What it does now, I don't know. I'm not going to buy it mid-range when it's already bottomed at 90 cents. Yes, maybe it spikes a little bit overnight, but I don't know. ULTR, I got a lot of questions. Should I buy this overnight? Well, the whole sector is crashing. This thing has already spiked. This is its 3rd green day. So maybe it spikes a little more. Like I'm scared to short it overnight because you never know if this could go total PRGN and it goes over $1 a share tomorrow. Or maybe it just doesn't spike and it's going to fade 30-40% tomorrow. When you don't know, you have no position. So I have no position on ULTR, no positions at all overnight, but I made nearly $4,000. Roughly $2,000 of it was in my small account, which is, I started the year with 12,000. It is now at around, I think 40,000. So growing it slowly but surely. Got to give props to so many of these students. Let me see. Just so many. Props to everybody. This was from the other day. I should have started a new worksheet. This is how, okay, here it is. This was the first one of today. You can see here, this was 4:02 p.m. the other day, and now this is 8:53. So PTX, Alex sold pre-market. That's awesome. Confucius sold pre-market, and he was dead on right. Jack, HUSA, that was another one that was spiking. There's so many freaking plays right now. I hope you guys understand this and appreciate it. HUSA, what was I buying it at the other day? In the 20s somewhere. And it went all the way up to, 40 today. So it was nearly a double, even though I sold too early on that one too. It's scary. It's choppy. But props to Jack for holding and made the 40%. Rocco in the middle of class. I like this in ULTR at roughly 40 out at 52 cents. Follow the money. ULTR he was in last week, sold half at 43 and the other half at 73. So awesome gains today. Chesnaz in at 46, out at 74, my biggest win of around $200. Who is Joe, bought at 42 cents, sold at 74, only 1,000 shares. Guys, don't feel bad, okay? I see you guys like putting yourselves down in the chat room and in commentary and on Twitter. Like, don't listen to these rich fucking snobs who try and put you down. I see a lot of big traders who are like, oh, Tim's students have so little money. It's so pathetic. Fuck them, okay? Fuck them. That is bullshit, okay? It doesn't matter how much you start with. Some of my top students have started with $1,000 or $2,000. So don't let these snobs get to you at all. And you should fight back and say, shame on you, you snobby motherfucker, you fucking rich daddy's boy. Fight back. It's not just about being all rich in this life. Education, starting from nothing, starting from little. That says a lot more about you than somebody who has already grown up with 6 or 7 figures in their bank account. They don't know what it's like to struggle. And I wasn't, necessarily struggling growing up, but my family grew up middle class. So I am not a rich daddy's boy. And I hate these fucking trust fund babies. And I hate these rich people who think that just because they have more money, they can talk down to you. Fight back, okay? I am so sick of them trying to make you feel small. I know I'm a rich guy now and I'm going against the rich guy code or whatever, but I don't fucking care, okay? If you're gonna learn a skill, never feel bad when you first start. And in fact, feel proud. When you buy a stock at 42 cents and you sell it at 74 cents and you make $300 on a $400 investment, that's fantastic, okay? That is amazing. And he's also covered, up 200 overall because he lost 100 on PTX. Cut your losses a little quicker on PTX, but this is a fantastic trade. And never feel bad about a small account. And anybody who says that, fight back at them. Say, shut the fuck up, you rich daddy fucking servant. That's what they are. They're really just servants of their rich parents if they really want to look down on people with small accounts. You guys are the future. Remember that. It pisses me off. Anyways, sorry for going off on a tangent. Sorry for swearing. But I see these rich assholes just treating people like shit because it makes them feel better because they're rich and they're still not happy with their lives. So you got to fight back. Send them this video. Tweet this video. I'll retweet you. Danny Boy, good job shorting GLBS, whatever the fuck the ticker is. Penny betting, you didn't get maybe this is not the ticker, UTLR. Whether it's ULTR or UTLR, making 30, 40, 50% on your money in a few minutes, that's fantastic. Jose, first trade, $76 profit. Buddha gets it. He doubled his money and he says they aren't all going to be like this, correct? So don't get cocky. Chad in ULTR at 52 cents, out at 80 cents, played that perfectly. I could not agree anymore, Chad. Although I will tell you, if you had stocks to trade, you would probably see it a little sooner. Maddie in at 52, out at 71. Grubby was shorting DRYS, which was another play in this sector. Invest 126, bought PTRX pre-market, sold it at the open at 120, lost 150. However, bought ULTR and sold it at 78, made my money back. That's okay, but you gotta do better. When you have a huge winner like ULTR, it shouldn't just be getting you back to break even. You gotta cut losses quicker on PTX and plays like that. You shouldn't be risking 10, 20, 30% losses. Here is Nilar, took profits on ULTR, dropped the second time on the way to work, couldn't wait, in at 42, out at 71 cents. On a $400 account, made $145. Learn from How to Make Millions and School Trader DVD. Awesome job, Nilar. Brock made $900 in the bank. Here was APR DV, which I highlighted on Twitter. And here's Bixie Man on SRPT, made $1,500, and Roscoe spent hours this weekend studying the DVDs and doing his own research, and it's paying off. So congrats to all of you guys. I'm sorry, there's even more, but I gotta just take a nap. I've had such a crazy day, and I'm so proud of all of you. And if you ever get anybody talking down to you, whether it's your friends, your family, or some rich asshole on Twitter, you show them this video. because it's not just about the money that you make in the long run. It's baby steps, learning how to trade, seeing what plays are good, sometimes messing up, sometimes selling too soon, as I often do, but taking a good chunk of the profits, the potential profits, and then also just, learning from everything. And you can probably see this. This was another Word document. I was watching Matty Owen's Trading Around Equilibrium DVD. I wrote a review on it yesterday. It's a fantastic DVD if you want to learn some new indicators and really learn about the financial markets as a whole. And he talks all about the Ichimoku clouds and pretty cool stuff too. That's in, if you go to timsykesale.com again and you scroll down, it is the Trading Around Equilibrium. And this is just $297, 70% off for a little while, just because Matty just passed $1 million in profits. He can't even control his hair, as you might have seen him on some answer stocks, but he definitely has done very well in the stock market. And it's not even just about if you want to learn from him. I see some questions from some people saying, "Oh, Tim, you're my guru. I don't want to like cheat on you with learning from this guy." It's not cheating, okay? It's all about building your own knowledge base and using tools and indicators and your own personality to try and do the best that you can. Uh, if you take a little piece from Matt's DVD and a piece from my DVD and a piece from Tim Grattani's DVD, that's not a bad thing. There's no one right way and one wrong way to trade. It's all about learning from successful, transparent traders. I think it is dangerous to learn from traders who are not transparent and you don't know how they're making their money. You don't know if they're making money. There's a lot of snake oil, a lot of fraud, a lot of fakes in this industry. But I show all my trades. Triforce shows all of his trades. Tim Grattani shows all of his trades. So I can vouch for these guys because you can see specifically what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. He doesn't win 100% of the time. I think he wins like 63% of the time. I'm winning roughly 70, 75% of the time. I think, what's Tim Grattani doing? TG trades. Tim Grattani is winning 70% of the time. So, no matter if you're winning 60, 65, 70, 75% of the time, we're doing something right, okay? We're doing much better, nearly double what the bald-headed man on CNBC is doing. So bald eagles are cool, bald CNBC commentators are not. So be careful who you learn from. They should show all of their success and their mistakes, and I should just give props to Tim Grattani. I mistakenly said, as many of you have corrected me, that he made $68,000 last month. He updated his Profitly even more, so he actually made $80,000 last month. If you do a 30-day search, he made $81,000, and he shows all of his trades, including his losses. So I'm sorry that I did my review before he had updated all of his trades. So that's the confusion. Some people are like, it's confusing. There's always different numbers. Well, get used to it, okay? We're real. Things are not perfect. I had a record month last month, but as long as we keep getting awesome plays like this in volatility, you can really learn to adapt. I'm not saying HUSA is a good company or ULTR is a good company or PRGN is a good company. I know you guys want to be like Warren Buffett and you only want to invest in good companies. Listen, I'm not going to, necessarily side with the snobby rich people for putting down people with small accounts, but you do have to be aware that when you have a small account, if you make 20% per year like Warren Buffett does, or 30% per year, it's still not going to do shit for you. So you need to find strategies that can grow your accounts exponentially. These stocks do it. So there's a lot of people who hate on penny stocks. Fuck them. There's a lot of people who think that if you have just a few $1,000s to your name, you shouldn't be trading. Fuck them. All I want to do is teach you how to profit from this volatility on the way up and on the way down. And in the past few days, it's been absolutely insane. And I'm glad that so many of you are banking. And if you're not banking on these, at least you're learning. And you're seeing it's not just one pick. It's not just a play that I didn't even trade PRGN. And it went up 10 times. So the volatility exists, whether you like it or not. It's just a question whether you're ready to take advantage of it. I'm going to go take a nap for a little bit because I'm exhausted. Congrats to so many of you. What another great day. Thank you. See you in the chat room tomorrow.